Hey guys.
Hey.
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Meredith.
And this is It's About the Pasta Quarantine Edition continued. Oh, I just stumbled. Also, I almost said I'm Meredith, so
you just want to be me.
It's like a really long day. We are on the Geek Nerdery Podcast Network. Check out all their other podcasts. I know we plugged the challenged one a lot because we watched the challenge, so go check out that one. And you guys need to rate and subscribe and review.
Yes.
Meredith, did you hear about
close.
the rating we got?
You know, I did, and I was upset, not because of the rating, but because of lack of context, to be honest.
Yes. So we didn't get a review. We got a rating that I'm assuming was 1 star because our total amount of stars went down significantly.
Yes. Drastically.
Like, we don't know why you hate it. So could you just let us know next time?
Information
we're not gonna change.
Needed. We know that maybe these ads are a little louder than our voice, so we changed that. We know the quality is not great. That's all right. We're all in it together, quarantine edition.
That's quarantine. That's because we're on our phones with headphones in. Meredith's in a car and I'm in the basement. So
we just hope that it's not about
pasta.
The quality. It is about the pasta. The quality of conversation is where we want to make sure we're striving.
100%. So if you could leave us reviews, you guys, and or 5-star ratings. Because if you're going to leave 1 star from now on, you need to leave a review.
We're really close to our 25 ratings.
Yeah, we're 21.
4 more. We're almost there.
4
Give Alicia
more.
What she wants.
That's 20 stars. Just give it to me. Also, join our Facebook group. Same name as the podcast. So if you found the podcast, you can find the Facebook group. I keep asking questions, Meredith, and we only got 1 response, but I'm curious to see how everyone thinks.
Yeah, feel free to answer late.
Yeah, I'm going to share with you the 1 response we got. So the question was, can guys and girls just be friends without the need to hook up? And our shining star, Mary Kate, gave us some insight. And she said, as for guys and girls being friends, I think it depends on how close you are. I have a lot of casual guy friends that I've never been interested in as more than that. But with 2 very close male friends of mine, the dynamic feels a little different. I haven't hooked up with either of them because I don't want to ruin anything, but I'd be lying if I said there wasn't flirting and jealousy and stuff like that. I guess it really differs from situation to situation.
I agree. I think you know right off the bat, you know?
Yeah, I agree too. I actually, when reading this the first time, I thought of one of my friends that I'm always like, oh, I hate when he dates other people, even though we've never been a thing.
You like Mary Kate said, it's that little bit of jealousy where you won't do something because you're friends, but that doesn't mean there isn't a little chemistry there, and it's like hard to somewhat be friends.
Yeah, and I always do that thing where I'm like, well, I'm going to befriend this girlfriend to show how awesome I am, so when they break up, it's me he comes to. I'm evil.
I'm the one who's like I'm the person who is like clearly mean to the person they like.
I mean, that's fine.
Like I rage text people that I like and make us not friends.
Oh, I kind of like that though. At least you're being like honest to your own bitchy self.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. I mean, I can't say I don't enjoy a good rage text. I mean, I wake up a little embarrassed the next day, but I'm kind of smiling at the same time.
Do you rage text like, I hate that you have a girlfriend, but then it's like you kind of don't have a right to be mad because you and him are just friends?
Oh, no. I don't rage text about things I should rage text about. I rage text.
Okay.
I get mad at little things and blow them out of proportion because I'm mad about other things. So I'm not honest with myself. Or I'm honest with myself. I'm not.
You're like
honest with
Scheana. Oh my God. But yeah, so Mary Kate, thanks so much. I completely agree. And no one else wanted to give us their opinion, so I guess Meredith, Mary Kate, and I are all right.
I was about to say that. I was like, looks like we're right. Nobody disagrees.
Meredith, are you making it up? Me too.
Oh, yes, I am. Heck yeah. Quarantine's always drunk here in my household. I, again, have one of those nice little mixed drinks from our favorite brewery, but this time it's lemonade and lavender.
Ooh, that's fancy.
It's really delicious. I made my dad go back this past weekend and get more.
Ooh, I love that. That sounds really good. I love lemonade and lavender, so
I'll bring some up next time I
just
move back to Chicago for a life update, everybody. I had to move out of Chicago for the meantime.
Oh my gosh, I know, it's such a mess. Will we ever be back?
Will we ever live a normal life again? We don't know, but we do know lots about Vanderpump Rules.
We do. What do you think of this episode?
I liked it. I don't want to say I loved it, but I think it had some great segments, especially for the non-OG people. Really loved Lala and James. As always, love Dayna. Some good alternative people, but ready for that proposal, that's for sure.
Yeah. We all are. But I liked it. I was interested. I wasn't annoyed. No, Jax and Brittany were basically nowhere to be found in this episode, except in the flashbacks we got. So.
Oh my God, I honestly forget about them.
Because they don't fucking matter anymore.
Yeah, now that this wedding's over, I really do think the producers are on the same wavelength that we are, where it's just like, oh, thank God, we don't have to talk to them.
Agreed. But yeah, I noticed that like halfway through, and that was kind of in the back of my mind. And I was okay with it. Like, I didn't even miss them.
I mean, I noticed, like, obviously, like, Beau dropped their name, but it didn't seem weird to me that I hadn't seen them.
Yeah, well, just shows you how much they don't really give to the show. And because no one's disagreed with us about that, we are right.
Oh, yeah.
So let's get into it. Previously on Vanderpump Rules, Katie and Tom got married in Vegas, but they lost a marriage certificate.
Oh, God.
Again. Beau's planning on proposing, which we're so pumped about. Brett and Dayna are together, and Scheana's, like, kind of cool with it, but Danica's not cool with it. Lala and James are friends again, and Katie and Stassi are only associating with Kristen nowadays because of their Witches of WeHo wine.
Do you think their sales have plummeted because of this?
I mean, like, I don't know, because I haven't bought any yet, but every time it comes on the episode, I do feel the need to just buy one.
I know, it's about to be a collector's edition.
Yeah, because it's never happening again. They only have 2 potions. I wonder if they're still selling. Should I check those?
I started looking it up. Don't you worry. The Instagram.
WeHo wine.
The Instagram posted 19 hours ago.
Oh, that's good. Oh my God. Oh, that's for. It said $75. And I was like, for one, but it's for 3 bottles.
Yeah.
Which is still kind of outrageous.
Oh, but if you're a member, it's $60.
But like, can I get the Pinot Grigio instead of the rosé? I don't know. Oh, there's another one that's $39 for 3 bottles by Megan Massacre. I don't know who that is, but hers is a lot cheaper.
Well, I'm going to say they're only selling the rosé because that's probably all, like, they probably didn't re-up the whatever white wine they had, so they're just trying to sell out of all this rosé now.
I love Pinot Grigio a lot more than rosé, but whatever. They should really lower the sales then if they're trying to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Whatever. Well, maybe when we get back to Chicago, we can order some if they still have it.
Dude, shipping's going to be so expensive.
I know. It's going to be $100 for 3 bottles of wine. And
Yikes.
that's just, Trader Joe beats all of that.
The $5 chuck. We can just
I'll
print out a version of their label and glue it on.
What if we bought 3 different bottles of wine and we put on Stassi, Katie, and Kristen's face onto the ones respective. So the cheapest wine is going to be Kristen. And then we'll pick one out. Like, I think Katie's a rosé.
I was going to say do a white for Stassi and a red for Katie because, like, Katie has dark hair and Stassi has blonde hair.
That's good. And then Kristen is just the cheapest bottle we can find.
She's a Bush beer. We're getting some reunion or, like, finale content here.
I know. If we can get back together, I want to do a Facebook Live, but...
Yeah, I agree.
We'll see.
TBD.
But let's go to bartending school with Brett and Dayna.
This looks so cool.
This looks really fun. It's a cute date idea, too.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. But it would be so fun to do with your friends.
Yeah. Oh, this class would be fun to do alone.
I would hope there's a hot teacher and a little one-on-one action.
Oh, yeah. But, so it looks like Brett's not the best bartender, but Dayna's pretty good because she learned when she was 8 years old from her mom.
I love it. I love that her mom was a bartender for, what was it, like 30 years? Yeah, that's crazy. She was like, it's in my blood. And I was like, I mean, I wouldn't think that, like, bartending is in people's bloods. But, I mean, I guess so.
I could. Oh, my God, you've had my drinks. I'm an awful bartender.
You're the Brett level.
And my parents, like, don't drink, so I think it's in the blood. Whereas your family drinks a lot, and you make amazing drinks.
That's true. Nurture versus nature, though. I think it's just she was taught at 8 years old.
She's ready
to make a martini.
Which will come in handy. Hopefully she can become a bartender with Ariana. I'd love to see those two do a bar.
They would be a great duo.
Agreed. But Brett and Dayna discussed Max's fun in Vegas with the Scheana 2.0.
Oh, my God. I love
Scheana negative 2.0.
Oh, man. I still can't believe that happened. The flashback of, like, Lisa talking to her on FaceTime was so cringy, but...
Ew.
I love that Dayna's like, okay, so I guess he can't really say anything about us now.
Yeah, I mean, he moved on pretty publicly.
Yep. Back to a Scheana, apparently.
Gross. But Dayna has one of my favorite quotes, and it's, absence makes Max's dick grow harder. I love it.
She is my favorite on this season. Like, actually on all.
Her.
I love Stassi, and I will have a special place in my heart for her because I see some of her qualities in me as well. But Dayna is just great entertainment. They got reality TV gold when they cast her.
Agreed. She's a star.
Oh, yeah.
So let's go to Stassi's apartment where Beau is helping Stassi brush out her extensions, and he decides to put them on and become Sia. He gives me so many Schwartz vibes.
I
want to do. Ugh.
They're just being themselves. Like, they're not even, like, trying to get camera time.
No, yeah, like, I'm pretty sure whether there are cameras or not, Beau would have become Sia. And Schwartz 100%. Thinks it's hilarious because him and Katie come over.
Yeah, he's like, you look really good in things. No.
They're so fucking weird. But they talk about losing the marriage certificate again. I'm glad that their marriage is technically real. There's just, like, no proof of it. Is that true? Isn't it in a system somewhere?
Well, I think what they're saying is they don't have the record of it. Like, the government has the record of it, but they don't have their own version of it. But also, like, I've never been married. I don't know how this works. I signed my sister's marriage, like, certificate. The way it looked whenever Brittany got married is you send it into the government, like, once it's all signed, and then they send it back, I thought. So I'm not really sure what happened there.
I don't know. At this point, I don't care. You had 2 weddings. You should be married by now.
Not really sure what the status is, but at least between themselves, they're married.
They're married. And Stassi makes another dig that Katie has 2 rings. Yeah. So instead, she's going to try and have a baby, which we knew because of the Girls Gotta Eat podcast that Stassi was on, where she talked about this.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you, like, listen to that podcast now because it, like, gives so much context to this time. Because I don't think it made sense with them talking about, like, Stassi being on birth control, are they going to have a baby? Like, there isn't context that Stassi, like, one day said, like, okay, fine, I'm okay with us not getting married at this point, but then let's just have a baby.
Yeah. So basically, for those who didn't listen to the podcast, Stassi went on and was talking about the time leading up to her engagement with Beau. And at this time, she wanted a ring, as we see, and she's pressuring Beau for it. And she didn't know Beau was going to propose. So she's basically sat down with him and was like, look, I want to move on to the next step in our relationship. And either that's a ring or a baby. And stupid Beau, who's like, I think too nervous to make any decisions, he was like, yeah, okay, like, baby's fine. So they're having unprotected sex. And Stassi's so happy they didn't get pregnant because then she would have been pregnant at her wedding.
Well, I mean, I guess maybe not, no matter what would have happened with this coronavirus. But, yeah, I think it's so funny that Beau is not, like, just playing possum at this point. Like, he's not trying to give her any clues, so he's just saying nothing.
I know, it makes me nervous.
Like, he could have easily been like, no, like, let's just, like, I want to have children with you, but, like, I don't think this is a good time in our life. Like, let's start in, like, 3 months. Like, he could have put her off just a few months.
He should have said the ring will come in the next 9 months, so you don't want to get pregnant.
Yeah.
You know, like,
that's so
your
true.
ring's coming.
But I think
oh my God,
he wanted to make sure that, like, she didn't think it was coming, so then because if you know it's coming in the next 9 months, any time they would have gone to dinner, she would have thought it was happening, you know, like.
True.
I don't think that would have been good.
Oh, this is just stressful to watch Beau, like, to know. Like, I'm sure Schwartz was freaking out at this point because I'm freaking out and I don't even know these people. But Schwartz, he would have been like, ugh, it, like, gives me chills. But at least I know it's coming.
That's true.
What else did they discuss? Kristen not going to Vegas.
Yes, they all, Beau says that he, like, will still be friends with Kristen, but obviously his priority, has changed with her, whereas, Stassi is obviously first priority, especially when they're all together. I love how he clarifies, like, I can be friends with Kristen one-on-one, but when we're all together, like, you're my priority, like, and I feel bad for him, though, in this position. Like, I totally understand him wanting to be friends with Kristen. Like, that's been a long friendship for him. He knew her before he knew Katie and Stassi, but obviously there's a huge risk in Stassi and Kristen's friendship.
Yeah, agreed. And I think a lot of the background and resentment that Stassi has about Kristen being friends with Beau comes from Kristen being friends with Jax. Like, at least throughout the episode, that's what I got. And it kind of sucks because that's, like, not Beau's fault. Like, Beau would never do what Jax did. They're totally different people. But Stassi knows what's happened in the past and what Kristen's capable of. So she just wants Kristen fucking gone.
And I didn't realize how deep of an issue it was because I don't, like, Stassi won't admit that that's the reason because I think she's trying to say, like, I'm over it. But, and like you said, Beau wouldn't do it. But I think her issue is that, like, she knows Kristen's capable of it and that Beau and Kristen do have a very close relationship prior to them dating that I don't think it makes her comfortable. And she won't say, like, I don't want you to have a close relationship like this. Like, I do have boundaries with that. It's an all or nothing for Stassi.
True. It's weird to me, though, that she's not ever jealous of Katie, and it might be just because Katie's, like, a better friend. But I think Katie and Beau have hooked up in the past.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I'm like 90% sure that Katie Maloney and Beau, what's his face, Clark, have hooked up. I'm like trying to Google it simultaneously of like talking.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's the fact that obviously Kristen has hooked up with her own boyfriend they were dating at the time, so that's a big barrier to be crossed. And like that's in the past if like Katie and Beau have hooked up, but Katie's married now. She's in a really great relationship.
Oh, wait, ignore
Kristen
me.
is not.
Katie hooked up with Carter.
Oh.
But wait, it says Beau Clark previously black lips with another member many moons ago. So if I can't, you just say it, Andy Cohen. Just give me the.
Interesting.
In a film he kissed Kristen.
Oh, see, but that gives, in a sense, it's not like hard proof or anything, but that probably makes Stassi uncomfortable.
Yeah, okay, yeah. He made out with Kristen on a movie set 10 years ago on camera.
Yeah. I mean, it's nothing to be, like, up in arms over, but...
It's funny because 10 years ago, Beau and Kristen were, like, trying to make it as actors, and I'm pretty sure, like, 10 years ago, Stassi was 20. Yeah. And hadn't even, like, met Jack. She was still in college.
How weird. She's
I know,
so much
she's
younger
so
than
young.
everybody.
Whatever. Speaking of Kristen, we had like a weird scene of her at her house getting ready for Witches of WeHo wine by herself.
Being a disaster.
She just looks a mess, this girl. Whatever. Let's go to Sir. Pumped about Sir.
Yeah, Dayna and Brett left. Oh my God, you're so annoying. Dayna and Brett left bartending school to show up at work, which was great. I love that they always like do stuff during the day and then have to go to work.
Yeah, it's like really cute.
Lisa shows up,
and I got my
which
Peter
is great.
sighting.
I know, I literally wrote major Peter sighting.
I know, he quizzes Brett on how to make a mojito and then takes Lisa's order of one goat cheese ball.
And actually brought her one goat cheese ball.
I'm sorry, you do what Lisa wants. And then Lisa was like, Peter, I meant like 3 goat cheese balls. And I was like, Lisa, Peter was doing exactly what you said. Don't get mad at him.
Yeah, but every guy needs to start knowing. We say we want one because we can't say we're going to eat them all. But then you just be like, oh, they accidentally put 3 on here. And then she'll eat them all and be happy.
This made me think of that classic thing where girls don't order fries, but then eat all the fries off their boyfriend's plate. That's me, to the point that we become comfortable, and then I order my own 2 orders of fries. Thank you very much.
I went to an all-girls high school, and I think that really cemented just doing my own thing in my head. And, like, when I went to college, when I, like, started going to school with guys again in college and then like in other moments, I've just like done me because it's just, I don't know, I just am way too open, I guess. And so I've never been that type of person. And I'm like, F it, like whatever. And people are like, what the hell? I'm a little too not of a girl sometimes. But like,
well, whatever.
A little embarrassing.
I commend you. It's fine.
Thank
Who cares?
You. Oh yeah. I'm like Joey. Meredith doesn't share food. Like, don't touch my fries.
I've been single for way too long that now when I ever, I don't know, who knows, but when and if I ever get in like a serious relationship and he tries to steal off my plate and I'm comfortable enough to be like, the fuck are you doing? We might break up.
Yeah. Oh, that's not happening.
Well, Scheana comes to visit Lisa at her table. And they talk about her egg retrieval surgery.
Yes, she got 7 eggs. Wow, go Scheana.
I know. And it's for the when she meets the right man or when the time is right. And Lisa mentions Peter.
I love
and
it.
I was like kind of into it.
I love like how slightly subtle it was, but so obvious. She's like, well, I mean, there's a really great man right here.
Well, do you remember at the beginning of the season, they went somewhere and Peter and Scheana, was it Brittany and Jags' wedding where they shared a room?
No,
and a bed
it was Miami. It was their,
Miami.
Bachelorette, yeah.
Oh, wait. Yeah, I was like,
was it Miami?
I think so. I think that sounds more right. Because Scheana shared with Kristen at the wedding. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I loved it. Peter's never going to be down for it, but he's getting kind of old, right? If he wants kids, Scheana's like the only option. They could co-parent really well.
I was about to say, they should just have kids together and just be co-parents.
Yeah, I love it.
Because
but
Scheana, listen, I mean, besides, we'll get to the Scheana and the relationship thing, but Scheana says that she's mad because Brett and Max didn't check in on her. Peter would check in on her.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. One, Scheana bothers me in the sense that, like, why do people have to check in on you all the time? And I say have to all the time because there was, in, like, season 2, Scheana got her teeth messed with or something, and a whole fight ensued because Stassi didn't text her about how she went to the dentist, and then Scheana did her famous, it was an oral procedure line. And I was like, Jesus Christ, this is just like that.
Yes, I think she blows these things out of proportion where, especially, like, if you think about where Max was in fucking Vegas. Do you think, like, he remembers that you're having this procedure? Yes, it's very serious to you, but from the outside looking in, like, Max doesn't give a shit. He probably barely even remembered you were freezing your eggs. Like, this, especially for guys, this does not matter to them. So they're not going to text you.
Yeah.
Like, if you were in the hospital, I'm sure some of them would check in on you, but, like, let's just remember they're guys, like Lisa said.
Yeah, Scheana just wants someone there for her always, which I think is a nice thing to want, but you can't make it happen.
Especially with guy friends.
She looks fucking psychotic in her interview. Did you see it?
She's insane.
She looked like the Joker. She had, like, red lipstick, and it looked like she had just gotten Botox in, like, 5 minutes before, and her face was frozen. Like that lady from A Cinderella Story.
Yes.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
That was Scheana. It was horrifying. Sorry, Scheana. We love you.
I don't like the neediness from her. It's like, especially when, like, now that Dayna's on this season, it's like Dayna's the complete opposite of Scheana, and I love it. Like, I'm a little bit like Scheana, where it's like you want the neediness, but I don't, like, complain to people about it. I'm like, oh, man, I really wish people would have texted me, but who goes around and, like, to the guys' faces and being, like, really upset with you, like, you didn't text me this weekend.
Yeah, no, that's fucking weird. I would probably laugh at someone if they were like, you didn't text me about it. I'd be like, what?
Yeah, I'd be like, wait, what? I don't even know what you're talking about.
What are you talking about? I forgot. You mentioned it so many times. It didn't even register anymore.
Well, let's go to Dayna's apartment where Scheana is not only needs people too much, but somehow is giving too much to other people.
Oh my God, this was so fucking weird. Okay, so first, drunk Scheana got hit by a scooter.
And Chanel saved her life.
I was like, she didn't explain that enough. But I'm more confused as Scheana said she can't go to the club because of her doctor. And I want to know if it's her egg doctor or the doctor that checked her out after she got hit by a scooter.
I don't know either, but did you see that she goes, my doctor told me not to exert myself too much, so I can't twerk, so I can't go to the club.
Oh my God, like, I fucking know.
Oh, okay, so if you wanted to go to the club, the only way you would be there is if you could twerk. Okay.
It's a true tragedy.
I know. She's just a mess.
But, yeah, okay, so Scheana is telling Dayna about this psychic that she hired to talk to her grandma. And Dana's like, that's super cool. I don't want this. And then did Scheana, like, imply? She's like, you can use it to talk to your mom.
Yeah, she was like, I think it'd be a really great thing for you so you could, like, talk to your mom. And Dana's like, no. She was like, you seem very sad, so I thought you would like this. And it's like, I think that would make her more sad in a way. But what?
Yeah, right? And then Dana's trying to nicely be like, I get it, but, like, you can't relate because you haven't lost a parent. And Scheana's like, yeah, but my mom has. And I want to be like,
that was insane. I really hope the editors did her dirty on that, because if that was a legit quote, oh my God.
That's awful. Okay, my grandma passing is way different than my mom passing.
Yeah.
One of them, I'm going to be sad, but get over it, you know, relatively normally. The other one, I'm going to be distraught.
Yeah, like, your grandma passed probably at a time where it's like your mom had a lot of time with her, you had some quality time with her. Dayna's mom passing probably, like, 5 years ago. I don't know when she passed, but, like, Dayna doesn't have kids. Like, her kids don't get to meet their grandma. Like, what? This is no
Dayna's
comparison.
Like in her 20s.
Yeah, don't even bring this up, Scheana. Like, oh my God, how insensitive.
So, Scheana has, like, invited this psychic over without telling.
She said she was going to, like, Dayna asked if the girl was coming, and Scheana said, no, like, I just have her on standby so I could text her your address. She could come over if you were into it.
Yeah, so Dayna's like, no, thank you. Also, Scheana, this is a really private moment, and we just became kind of friendly, so, like, why the fuck would I want you there?
Yeah.
And two, like, thank you very much. This was weird, but okay, goodbye. So Scheana's like, okay, thank you so much. I'm going to go outside now. And you can hear in Dayna's apartment, Scheana talking to someone, and it's the fucking psychic who's like outside now.
She's like, she declined. Like, she's just not ready for it. She must be talking so loud because it seemed like Dayna was just on, like, the second floor, whereas, like, the main floor was, like, a garden apartment, though. So, like, her window is right next to where Scheana's talking to this freaking psychic. So Dayna is like, WTF, I thought you were going to text this girl. Walks outside. I love this. I love how direct Dayna is. Calls her back and is like, Scheana, let's talk.
I love how she doesn't even yell at Scheana in front of the psychic. She fully is like, like how a mother is like Meredith, and then she never says anything against you, have to go to her. That is like, exactly the power that Dayna has. Mm-hmm. And then Dayna's like, Scheana, is that the psychic outside? And Scheana's like, yeah, I had her on standby. And Dayna's like, but you gave her my address.
She's like, no, she like just showed up. She just showed up.
Yeah, but like, why did she? Oh my God, Scheana like doesn't get it. Dayna's pissed. It's a big clusterfuck.
Oh God, this was so awkward, but I loved it. I loved every moment of this.
Scheana's just like a lot. Like, she starts tearing up, and she's like, I just thought it would be something really nice for you. And Dayna's like, why do you know me well enough to know what I'd want?
Did you hear Scheana whenever she went outside to talk to the psychic? And Scheana was like, I asked like 20 of my friends their opinions on this. And one said that, like, I shouldn't do it. But I just, like, went ahead and did. Like, everybody else said it was a good idea. So I'm not really sure why she's upset. And I was like, oh, my God, you're so delusional.
Yeah, which would, like, also make me mad because you've discussed me talking to my dead mother with other people.
Yeah. Which I don't think she did. She probably asked one person, and then everybody exaggerates whenever they're caught in a bad situation. So she probably asked one or two people, and one out of those two people probably said, don't do it.
Oh, my gosh. I can't believe. But Scheana loves to give gifts, and she should probably just stick to giving Apple Watches or something. Because this was awful.
I have realized this. There are people who, I love giving gifts. I find Christmas great as well, just like Scheana. But I think I am really good at giving gifts, and I'm sure everybody who gives gifts thinks they're really good. Scheana is not good at giving gifts. Scheana thinks, what would I like, and I'm going to give that to that person.
Yeah, no, she's fucking awful. Like, I'm bad at giving gifts, but, like, Scheana's really bad at giving gifts.
Yeah, but you probably, like, don't tout that you're good at giving gifts then. It's just like, hey, I thought you might like this. Let me know. Yeah. Or, like, you ask people what they want instead. Yeah, my problem is I always try and make it, like, kind of sentimental, like a thing we both have in common. And then I'm like, would they even want this weird memorabilia that they're probably not going to use? Because, like, I kind of probably wouldn't want that, but also I kind of think it was cute. Yeah. So I never know. So, like, let's just exchange Venmo requests. We'll
call it a day.
Let me buy you a drink.
Let's go to Villa Rosa.
Oh, this is
Beau,
so great. I'm so jealous of this.
Beau's here. I'm so excited. He is so nervous, and it's not even the day he's proposing. Like,
I know.
He must just live in, like, a world of nervousness constantly.
I mean, you would be too if you had to propose to Psycho Stassi, who, like, has been questioning you for a proposal, but you're trying to keep it a secret.
I know, that makes me anxious, though. I would have broke. I would have been like, you know what? I'm fucking proposing. There you go. Here's the fucking ring. Enjoy.
Just throw it at her. Fine, if you want it, just take it. Here are the
that would be me.
Lisa wants to plan a light dinner for after the proposal. And she's like, we could do it out here. And there's a full dining room table and chairs outside. And I was like, what the fuck? This is amazing.
Oh, my God, I know. But she's like, it'll be a small group. And then it's this giant table.
Which I guess,
hold 100 of your closest friends.
That's like half the people that are going to be invited to the wedding if you think about it.
Yeah, right? Wait, at the same time that this is all happening, we get one quick flash of Stassi at the gyno to make sure that she can have babies.
Yeah, she goes, the doctor goes, everything's normal. And she goes, I've never been so excited to hear everything's normal.
Right? And then it's just edited like, goodbye. And then we go back to Beau and Lisa. And I
know,
like,
I thought we were going to get
awesome.
more like, I thought Katie was going to be there with her or something.
Nope, it was just the cameraman, Stassi, and the gynecologist. It was awesome.
Oh, God.
But, so Beau's talking about who's invited. It's basically all the couples, plus Scheana, plus the family.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to list all the couples. But then...
Yeah, that's a good point.
Kristen is brought up. She doesn't know about the engagement.
No.
And Lisa, we all know how Lisa feels about Kristen.
But she still recommends Kristen be invited because it's such a huge moment. Like, Stassi and Kristen have been through so much life together. And I loved all these flashbacks. I really think it put in perspective, like, this fight has been kind of dumb this whole season, like, their actual on-camera fighting. I haven't enjoyed it. Because there's nothing, like, it's rooted in Stassi's, like being upset with Kristen for, like, something long ago. But it's, like, been so long that you kind of just forget about it. But I loved seeing, like, season 1 stuff and, like, them, like, doing their surf photo shoots. Like, what great
I know.
They were fun moments.
Yeah, and I think this adds more stress to Beau, because now he's like, do I not invite Kristen and make, like, present Stassi happy? Or do I, like, not invite her and then future Stassi might regret that? Yeah. And then it's just, like, a fucking a mess. And Beau, smart Beau, he said he's going to wait to see how it goes at the wine party and then decide if Kristen's going to come to the engagement party or not.
Which, like you said, this is so hard because it's like Beau has to, like, plan for what he thinks will happen, like, in a year from now. Like, will they be friends again? Like, basically, if Kristen would be invited to the wedding, she should be invited to this party. And it's like,
but also, like, does Beau want Kristen there because they are still friends? You know, like,
I think he would have a hard time talking to Kristen after this. You know, like, think about how hurt she was that she wasn't invited to the second wedding. And, like, she's not that close to Schwartz. Like, think about how mad she's going to, I think it's, like, Beau's scared to talk to her then. Because he obviously can't talk to her beforehand.
If Beau doesn't invite Kristen, that's going to be the end of their friendship.
I agree. I don't think they're friends present day. We all know she's not invited to the wedding, so I feel like this is going to be
Kristen set up Katie and Schwartz.
Really?
Yeah, so, like, she's like, could Kristen set me up with someone? Because it sounds like when she does, they become your life partner.
I was about to say, she has a disaster of her own relationships, but she's really good at starting some others.
Everyone else is fine. And then they just dump her.
Oh, man, poor girl.
Let's go to the club. I freaking love the club.
This was hilarious. I felt like I was in, I don't even know, like a sim. Like, this was hilarious. It's James, Raquel, Charlie, Danica, Brett, and Dayna all, like, walk into the club, and it's like, you get individual shots, but they're all edited together, like, side by side of them, like, walking in. I was like, these The people who were editing this show this season, top notch.
Agreed. And this reminded me of like super old Vanderpump. I'm going to throw a flashback at you. Do you remember the night that Stassi, some rando girl, and Frank all went to the club, and then Jack showed up, and they had a table, and it was loud, but like it was still fun to watch? This is what I thought of, and I was like, yeah, these youngins keep me young. Let's do it.
That's so true, where it's just like, you get random cuts to people talking about like James and Brett were talking about Dayna, so then you get a cut to Dayna like dancing awkwardly, and I was like, this is high quality.
Charlie doesn't understand the hype with Brett, which I like kind of agree.
But like, why did she go on a date? She's like, I would never date him. And I'm like, honey, you went on a date with him. Like, you were flirting with him.
Yes, I will. Yes, Charlie should probably not talk because she could have ended up with Brett. Yeah. But also, like, I haven't seen enough on the show to be like, oh my God, I would want to date Brett.
I think she's a little too harsh on him. Like, she said, like,
oh yeah,
he kind of looks like he's the guy who would cry during sex. And I'm like, okay.
I laughed at that.
I understand what you're saying, what you can see. I could totally see, like, that type of character in a movie, I'm going to say. But
no, Brett's totally that dude.
Oh, yeah. But I'm like, whoa, this is harsh, girly, just because, like, you kind of found him annoying. Like, I think she, like, wants the attention, like, of a Brett type. Like, she wants, like, I think she doesn't really like Brett's personality, but if Brett had a different personality, she'd be all over it.
Yeah, and I think her only storyline was the one date she went on with Brett, and it was god-awful to watch. And it's not going to work. Brett's Italian and Charlie doesn't eat pasta. So, like, right there, we see problems.
I agree.
Whatever. So, yeah, we get James sober.
Yeah.
First time at the club, sober.
This is great. Him and Brett are chatting. I loved it.
So
I love
cute.
that Brett took the time to, like, ask, like, is this hard for you? Like, I feel like it would be awkward to, like, if one of my friends came out and said they were alcoholic and, like, we went to a club, like, I would feel like I shouldn't drink, but you're at a club. But James pretty much says, like, oh, it's, like, when I hold this, like, he grabs the bottle, like, I feel stronger because, like, I'm choosing not to do this. Like, I'm in a really good place. So I'm really happy for James. I think this is, like, a tough moment, but it's one of those things that you need to, like, still have a social life without drinking.
Yeah. And I'm going to give it to both James and Lala because in this episode, they were both at parties at one point or like situations where drinking was like a big thing to do in these situations. And both of them were like, no, but like, I think it's easier if you have someone who's sober with you in these big situations and
agree.
They don't, which like makes them even better. I love it.
I know. I just am so happy for them. You can see the positives in James. Like every time he talks to somebody about being sober, it's not a negative to him. Like he really talks about
proud.
I think he really truly sees the benefits and how much better of a person he is without alcohol.
Agreed. Let's go to a mess though. Brett thinks dating Dayna is like fine because Max moved on with ugly Scheana in Vegas. And like, that's fine, but now we have to deal with Danica, who just constantly wants Dayna to be alone and single forever.
It's weird. And I love that, like, Brett, like, kind of calls it out. He's like, there's only one other problem, like, with me and Dayna, like, taking it to the next level, and it's Danica. So he pulls her aside, which I'm like, go Brett. Like, well, first off, I don't understand. I know they're on a show, but, like, why they, like, choose these moments? And also,
do it drunk at a club.
Where in a club do you find a quiet room like this?
Yeah. Oh my God. Friggin'. I was like, is no one, that's where I would hang out. So that place would be, that, wherever they were couch, that would have me. Like, did Vanderpump just be like, hey, we're going to need this little area and like soundproof walls?
It was
so fucking weird. But Danica, she's like opposite of Scheana. She's like, I said it. I don't think you and Dayna are meant to be together. That's it.
I appreciated that she owned up to this. I kind of thought whenever Brett asked her directly, like, I heard you said, like, you didn't want me and Dayna hanging out, or, like, I wasn't good for her. She was like, yeah, I did say it. Like, why are you cool with somebody your, like, friend had sex with? I was, like, shocked. I thought she was going to be like, oh, no, I didn't mean it like that.
Yeah, agree. But, like, okay, the thing Danica has to understand is this is a very incestual group.
Yeah.
Like, one, everyone is hooked up with everyone at some point in this show.
Yeah.
And Brett doesn't seem like weirded out by it, but...
Well, no, he's from Jersey.
He's from Jersey. But I see where Danica's coming from, because I don't think I'd want someone that my friend has slept with. You know?
Yeah, but I think she thinks it's like the two Toms. Like, they're, like, Brett and Max's friendship is, like, that close, where it's like, why would you hook up with, like, his girlfriend? But Max and Dayna weren't dating for that long. It wasn't that serious yet. Like, if they were dating for 2 years, I get that. But
I think the problem is, though, that there were feelings. Like, there were some sort of feelings. But also, I don't think Brett and Max are, like, that good of friends. Like, I think they're friends, but they've probably been as good of friends as long as, like, Max and Dayna have been dating. So it's been pretty weird. I don't know.
I agree.
But then Dayna comes out, and she doesn't even, like, care about what Danica said. She wants to dish about Scheana.
Yes. Which I love how... Dayna and Danica are good friends now. And, like, think back to when we started this season. Scheana, Danica, and Ariana went to lunch and were talking about Dayna. And now it's Danica and Dayna talking about how not direct Scheana is. Like, I love how everybody is so honest that Scheana says one thing and does the opposite. Like, you just get on her.
I know. But that's like Sheena's MO, so.
Yeah.
Whatever. Can we go to my favorite part of the episode, though?
Hell yes. Recording. We're in the booth.
We're going to the studio with James and Lala. Have you listened to the song? It's out now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've heard it. It's, like, kind of good.
Oh, really? Oh, awesome. I mean, it's very Kanye.
So Kanye.
I love when they do recording sessions because they get in the booth for 5 seconds just to, like, show that they were at the recording session, but it just gives Lala and James a reason to meet up at this point.
100%. And it's so auto-toned, it cracks me up. Like, at one point, I heard sounds, and I was like, that can't be James, and it is, and it's just a super low voice. And I was like, oh my God.
Sure, it's the point where James was recording, like, yeah, sure. It's auto-tuned. But, like, why don't you give us some real stuff? Like, I don't want to see you recording the auto-tune and the dumb, like, stuff at the beginning. It's like when Scheana had to make the, like, sex moan.
That's awesome. Yeah, so eventually recorders, who's in there? The music producers, that's what I'm looking for. The people recorders. They leave so that Lala and James can obviously get their one-on-one time for the show.
Yeah, after they lay down like 2 tracks, it's like, okay, we're doing good. Let's take a break.
Yeah, right. They're like, we'll take 5, and I was like, I feel like in the recording studio, like time's money, man. It takes 5.
Yeah. I also thought who's paying for this shit. I guess Rand is.
Of course, Rand is. But Lala welcomes him to the AA program, and it's so fucking cute. And they're bonding over their nightmare of waking up and thinking that they drank in their dreams.
Oh, horrible.
Oh, my God. That gave me more anxiety.
I was, like, a little stressed. I feel like I'm going to have a nightmare like that.
Me too.
But then I'm going to be like, oh, no, you're not sober.
I almost, like, it even felt worse because usually when you wake up from a bad dream, you're like, whew, you know, like, it's okay. But James said he, like, wakes up hungover, and he has to remember to be like, no, I'm not actually hungover.
Yeah.
Which I was like, freaking out.
He probably wakes up and is like, fuck, I don't remember, like, what's going on, or like, oh, man, like, I wonder if he wakes up sweating because he had a nightmare, and then he's just like, oh, God, I feel horrible. And then he's like, wait a minute, I didn't drink. He has to, like, think through his night before and be like, no, I remember everything. I did not take a drink.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's stressful.
Yeah,
so I'm really happy.
he's so new into his recovery that these obviously, like, Lala just had, like, nightmares that she went out or probably. But, man, James is on 10.
Yeah, I'm, like, really happy that they're both sticking strong, though, through it. And I think them discussing it gives at least James, like, a little more motivation to not drink, you know?
Well, and he probably doesn't feel as bad. He probably was like, oh, my God, like, I'm having nightmares. Like, what if I actually do this? And then Lala was like, oh, no, like, I get those, too. Like, it's just a good support system to be like, oh, I'm going through the exact same thing. Like, I still have those. Like, that's not going away.
And you know what else isn't going away? Their friendship.
No, I love that Lala's like, I hope you know I don't, like, hold on to anything you said about Rand. I don't want you to hold on to anything I've said about Raquel. Like we're friends. We're moving forward. And I was like, this is so cute.
Not to, like, go back on James's recovery and becoming a better person, but we got the best flashbacks of him, and I loved it. This was chaotic James that I lived for.
Yeah, I mean, great quality moments, but I love that he says, like, I regret all the words on it. Like, I said all those things because I was drunk and in a bad place, and I didn't mean them. I just, like, was trying to hurt people, and it's like, thank you for your honesty. We loved you, James. We all knew that, but, like, I'm happy you're there with us.
I know. I loved it. So that was the end of my favorite part, but the rest is fine. So we'll go to Sir. Okay, wait. We're at Sir, right? Brett's about to bartend. But do you remember we did that, like, pre-season episode where we talked about everyone? And I weirdly remembered thinking that Jax was the one that was going to teach Brett to bartend, and Jax has been nowhere to be found.
I agree. I guess it is this moment where the threesome Brett shows the other Brett how to bartend.
Oh my God, how am I going to keep this straight? You have Danica's Brett. How are they still working together after she punched him in the face?
Well, because he didn't do anything wrong. He just did something wrong in his personal life.
And, like, is that why Danica's not finding a new man? Is she still secretly with threesome Brett?
I know. I need more information about their relationship. Did they break up then? Like, what's going on?
I want threesome Brett on the show. Like, I want to know his background story.
Even just this, like, little tidbit of him, I was like, oh my God, here we go. I love that they said Brett, and then Brett, like, threesome Brett has, like, a W last name, so they included his last name. I was like, what?
Like they should have just put, like, Danica's ex instead of, like, Sir Bartender.
Yeah,
so, like,
put them, like, Brett W, but they should have given the context.
I know, I loved it.
And given us a flashback. I needed the flashback of the explanation that she got put on got suspended because she punched
I know. It was so good. But we finally get to go to the back of Sir because everything happens in the back of Sir.
I was about to say, the serious conversations happen at the back of Sir on those chairs.
Yeah, right? So Brett and Scheana start talking, and Scheana is, like, in a really bad mood because Brett didn't text her, supposedly about her surgery for the eggs.
Not only did he not text her, but she texted him, and he ignored it because he thought, wow, man, I didn't text her. I just saw this. I'll just not text her.
I'm sure Scheana sent him a text like, oh, I'm so tired because I just got my eggs removed. And I'm sure Brett saw it hours later because I do this, and I'm like, okay, ignore that text because it's not relevant. And maybe Scheana would have, if she was so tired, she would have been asleep because texting her back would have woken her up. But no, Scheana was waiting for that text back.
Oh, God, yeah. She, like, sat there with the phone open, just waiting for the text bubble to pop up.
Like, okay, and she has to learn that, like, your relationship with people is not based on how much you check in on them. Like, it's nice.
No.
But I'm a horrible fucking friend 90% of the time because I don't remember any of my friends' birthdays. I forget when they tell me that something's happening. I have a friend graduating in May, and I probably will forget what day it is and do it and text them late about it. Like,
yeah. Well, I think there are, like, types of friendships where, like, some people are very active and some people are more passive. And so there are a lot of people who are good at, like, reaching out, remembering things. And I'm a person who, like, if I want to be that person, I literally have to put a reminder in my phone. And once it's a habit, like, I'm on board. Like, I have some friends that are so good at making sure they call all of my, like, college friend group once a week or once every 2 weeks. And it's like, oh, my God, like, I'll accept that phone call, but I will forget to, like, that it's been 2 weeks since we talked, you know? Like, there's just a lot going on. And Scheana, like, goes off and is like, this is a one-sided friendship. Like, I'm done with this. And it's like, Brett seems like a very good friend, like a good guy friend, like, to her. They talk, and he invited her on that, like, YouTube. Like, he keeps her involved in, he keeps her involved in his life. So I don't really know the problem here.
I also think the other thing as far as, like, friendships go is that if I know I'm going to see this person on a regular basis, like at work, I won't really text them every other minute of the day. I can just go to work and be like, hi, how are you feeling? Whereas, like, long distance friends are more like, oh, I need to make more of an effort because we don't have that easy, like, way to see each other. So this was fucking outrageous. But Scheana probably had to wait maybe 3 days, and Brett would have come up to her and been like, hey, how are you feeling? Instead of blowing it out of proportion about how she's such a good friend to people and she does so much. Remember the psychic? She bought Dayna a fucking psychic. That bitch was ungrateful.
Yes. Well, I mean, let's go back to what we talked about at the beginning is that for Brett and Max, they don't care about this. Like, this is just a blip in their life. They probably think she just went to the gynecologist and got some blood drawn. Like, they have no idea the effort that goes into it. So why would they think, oh my God, like, I don't even know the effort of getting your eggs, like, frozen or whatever it is. Like, I don't know what happened when she went in there that day. Like, to me, it's like something simple. So, like, it's just as if she went to the gynecologist for, like, a checkup, and it probably lasted a little longer. So I wouldn't text somebody if I knew they were getting their eggs frozen. I'd probably check in a few weeks later to be like, oh, how many did you get?
Yeah, I don't know if I would. I have no idea what the procedure is, so, like, right there, you know?
Yeah. And also, I guess
this is outrageous.
It depends how close I am. Like, if it's my best friend, like, and we probably talked about this all the time, but, like, Scheana talked about this all season, but nobody, like, engages with her, so nobody's invested.
Also, I highly doubt that Brett is her all-time best friend, so she can, like, take a chill pill.
No, that's Max. They're best friends. We're just best friends.
Oh. Kill me. But then Dayna comes out, and they kind of discuss the psychic again, and Scheana apologizes, and we can, like, move on. They seem cool, right?
This was a weird conversation about it. I couldn't really follow. All I know is obviously Scheana did something wrong, but Dayna always ends everything with, like, let's just move the fuck on. And I totally agree. She actually does. Like she's over it already.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think she cares enough because her and Scheana aren't that good of friends. And when someone who's not really your good friend kind of, like, does something stupid towards you, you're just kind of like, let's move the fuck on because it's not even worth my effort.
That's true. She's probably like, this is just a hassle for me to keep talking.
Yeah, so, whatever. Let's go to the meat and potatoes of this whole thing, the Witches of WeHo party.
Oh, heck yes. We get Kristen showing up first, obviously, the main supporter of Witches of WeHo. She hasn't talked to Katie or Stassi since before they went to Vegas, which obviously they didn't want to talk to her because then they would have had to tell Kristen they were going to Vegas.
Yeah. I thought this was going to be, like, hella fucking awkward, but Stassi and Katie show up, and Kristen's introducing herself to the bartender, and in a really nice swoop was like, oh, this is Katie and Stassi, they're the other partners.
Yeah.
But it was really, like, a nice kind of, like, thing into it.
I would have been so petty. I just would have introduced myself and, like, done my stuff.
Same, but, like, I think Kristen can be very professional. You know?
I agree. I think she handled this evening pretty well, minus her personal relationship with Beau.
Yeah. So Kristen says that she's been doing a lot for the wine. Katie pops in occasionally, and Stassi does nothing, which we knew because Stassi's kind of fucking over this whole thing.
I agree, but I think Kristen's fine with doing a majority of the work, and she's satisfied at least with Katie's level of involvement. But I think Stassi could at least post some stuff online. Like, I get it, it's not Stassi's brand, but I think that's what Kristen was trying to make a point of, is like Stassi's literally doing nothing and still getting paid.
Agreed. And like, Stassi's the one that ultimately makes it awkward. When they're all at the bar, like, sipping the rosé, the bartender says cheers, and Kristen and Katie do cheers, and then Stassi, like, with her back to Kristen and her front to Katie, goes, cheers, but, like, doesn't look at Kristen. And I was like, Stassi, look, you don't have to like the bitch, but, like, this is business, you know?
Yeah.
Like, just really quick deal with it.
Well, it's like with anybody you don't really want to be friends with, just don't make waves. So it's like, it's not hard to cheer somebody's glass. That doesn't mean you're besties again.
Yeah, 100%. And then they do this interview for Us Weekly. This is the sham of all interviews.
Well, obviously we didn't really get any meat of the questions. We got the dumb ones to show that, like, they're lying in this interview. But this makes me wonder, if people read this interview and now are pissed, and if Us Weekly is pissed because it's like, okay, they just basically fucking lied the whole time.
Yeah, this interview was not accurate. But it's not even like, oh my God, it was like, do you guys ever argue when they're like, oh, not about work stuff, and then it's flashed to Stassi like, we all disagree on the fucking lines, and I was like, and then it was like, just some friends stuff, a little bit here and there, and then they're like, we're not friends anymore, we're not sisters. Yeah, we're best friends. But you can feel the tension, so I was like, how does this interviewer, like, not? She has to.
Well, it's like, none of them want to answer the question. It's like, how do I phrase this in a kind way without Kristen believing it?
I know. And I've got to give props to Katie, man. I know she probably doesn't like Kristen, and she has talked to Kristen about this, but she is the one in the middle of Stassi and Kristen. She is the most professional out of the both of them at this point, you know? Like,
well, she has to be a buffer, I think she realizes. Like, she can handle Kristen if they don't really get into too many things. Like, she's not going to talk about Vegas and why Kristen wasn't invited. Like, Katie can just be with Kristen. Stassi cannot even be around Kristen. It's very apparent at this party.
Ooh, I know. So the guests start to show up. Everyone looks really good in their outfits. I have nothing bad to say.
I agree.
And finally, okay, I did make a note of this. We have some Sandoval. We haven't had Sandoval all fucking episode.
Oh, you're right.
And I missed him. I missed him a lot.
Normally we get some boys moments. We didn't get any OG guys, like, moments.
No. And we get such a fun Sandoval moment. He's talking to Danica, and she decides they should have a softball game, Sir versus Tom Tom.
I love it.
The losing team captains have to wash the other bar's bathroom with a toothbrush.
Okay, really quick on this, because obviously Sandoval and Danica are captains. And then Sandoval says, okay, so Tom, like, Schwartz will be my other captain. Like, who will be yours? And Danica says Brett. But
which one?
Brett.
Is it ex-boyfriend Brett or other Brett? But other Brett's not a manager, so why would Danica, like, Danica should have said Peter or someone. So
I know, I thought this was weird. I thought it would have to be our Brett, like Brett on the show, because it's going to be a show thing, but like...
Yeah.
But in theory, if we were actually talking about it from like a third-party perspective, it should be threesome Brett.
Yeah, and maybe threesome Brett is like head bartender.
Yeah.
So that would make sense. But it would make sense if, let's say, Danica and Brett lose, and they have to go clean a bathroom, and then we get like threesome Brett. No one wants to see threesome Brett at that point, you know?
Dude,
so,
yes, I do.
I guess.
I would want to see threesome Brett and Danica stuck in the bathroom cleaning it, and then maybe we'll get the details.
I don't know. I'm so confused, because it sounded like she said Brett with like the W last name, but I was also just like, I don't know. I can't for sure say anything.
Yep, I know.
I don't know.
We'll have to see.
Let's get awkward though. Dayna confronts Max about this Vegas girl, and I was like, ew. Oh,
I loved this.
So uncomfortable.
But like, she totally deserved to say all this, because he was like upset that Dayna moved on, But it's like, okay, so then you just go hook up a Scheana lookalike. I don't think anybody cared that it was just somebody. I think everybody's heated because it's like a Scheana lookalike.
Yeah, and I mean, Max admits that he doesn't really like watching Brett and Dayna fanoodle, but Dayna feels kind of good about that, which, like, I get that. I love good jealousy.
Yeah,
oh my God.
I've been trying to play it cool, but I'm just, like, frustrated. And she's like, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I loved it. And then he had this weird quote that I wrote down where it was like, he just wants this to be like, bang, goodbye. But like, not actually bang, like, boom, done.
He goes, I just want it to be like, hey, how you doing? Okay, bang, goodbye. And he's like, no, not bang. Like, boom, not like banging. Boom,
like,
goodbye.
Boom, done.
I didn't even really catch on to that first bang, but now that you say it, that was weird.
It cracked me up. So then we go to Lala. She can't drink, obviously, but we have drunk Ariana, which I miss
adore
so much.
She's
love
so
her.
Fun.
She's toasty. Cracks me up. And I love the editor giving like all 5 of her wine moments where she's like chugging it down. Oh, well, I loved it.
The first one had like the time. It's been like 37 minutes, and it was like, she was like, oh, this is really good. Oh, yeah, like, all right, I should have some more of this. And then she's like, I just love this wine.
No, she's like, I don't know why I like rosé, but I really like this.
Yeah.
I'm
like,
love
she's
her.
feeling this. She could probably buy the whole stash, and like Katie, Kristen, and Stassi could be out of their contract.
Oh my God, that's funny. But Lala tells Ariana about James. And I love that Ariana, because we know Ariana has rooted for James since day one.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that now these 2 people who are on the same page about James just like have his best interest in mind for him. And I can't get over it, okay? I'm
and
like
they like
over
agree
James.
that, like, James, he was a shitty person for sure, but they've just been waiting for him to come out on the other side. And I think Ariana gives a good perspective that, like, even when Lala and James were at odds, like, Lala still loved him through those moments. She just needed to love him from, like, afar. And now she's so happy to see them reunite, which is so true. They're so great together.
No, they're such cute friends. So then we go to Stassi and Beau, and they're going mausoleum shopping tomorrow.
Yes.
This is my fucking favorite thing, because mausoleums crack me up. But we all know it's the proposal. So
yeah,
next week.
Did you see Beau? He's like trying to keep a straight face. She's like, I'm just so excited. And he's like, oh yeah, it's gonna be fun. And then she's
I
like,
know, she keeps poking him. She's like, mausoleum.
She's like, don't eat a big breakfast. And he's like, okay. And like, she's like, this is gonna be great.
Oh my God, he's gonna throw up. He's so nervous. But so I think at this moment, Kristen comes up. And I genuinely think that Beau was just trying to feel out if he should invite Kristen to the engagement party, right?
I know. I agree.
He said something like, oh, how's, like, Kristen doing? Just like that. And then Stassi goes full into, like, why do you need to push me to Kristen? Why do we have to be friends? And I really think Beau just wanted to, like, know for sure.
He was, like, testing the waters, and then it just erupted.
I know. And I think he was doing this so he could be like, well, Stassi, because, like, in the future, if they become friends, he could be like, Stassi, I did kind of, like, bring it up, and you...
Yeah.
But instead, it was just, like, and Beau didn't know what to do, and it stressed me out.
He tries to, like, back out of it and be like, well, you can just, like, keep her at arm's length. And Stassi's like, no, I can't even deal with her anymore. I've outgrown this friendship. Why can't you just, like accept it? And he's just like, I just asked a question.
I know, and then, like, Stassi's in tears, and Beau's like, I don't even know what the fuck just happened. I'm about to propose to you. Like, this wasn't how this was supposed to go. And Stassi's yelling.
I thought the tears were a bit dramatic for him, just because he, at the beginning, did just ask a question. Like he was just basically testing the waters, like, kind of a timid one. And if she was just like, no, we're not friends anymore, I'm tired of answering this. Like, I guess it would have been fine, but it was so weird she started crying.
I know, and it was just like Beau's face was pure terror of, like, how did this just happen kind of thing.
Yeah.
It made me laugh a little bit, but also I felt so bad for him.
I felt horrible, but I couldn't stop laughing either. He was just like, I'm sorry. I was just asking a question. Like, please don't be mad at me.
I know, this is like classic Schwartz again, where he's like, how did we get to this situation?
Like, I didn't follow. What did I do?
So, Max, I think at this point really quick talks to like Scheana or something. Like, we get a fun montage, right? Scheana's like, oh, I heard you banged Scheana squared.
I didn't even write this down, but I forgot about this.
Right? And then it goes to like Ariana and Tom, and Tom's like, we're doing a softball game. And then it like goes to James, or not James, Lala, who's like, I worked with James. And then it goes to Kristen, who's talking to Beau, but we don't move on from it. Like, ever.
No. It's so weird, but Kristen's basically like, are we friends? And Beau's like, yes, but like, I can't like come up and give you a big hug anymore. And Kristen's like, what? Why? Like, I don't get it. And like, Stassi's like, wait a minute, I see them talking, I need to hear.
Yeah, okay. Kristen just doesn't understand that like if her and Stassi were fine friends, you know, still on good terms, then sure, Beau could come up and give her a big old hug. But because Kristen and Stassi are not friends, Beau has to be a little more secretive with talking and being nice to Kristen, you know? Like,
well, I think it's still like, I think Kristen's slightly delusional where she doesn't get that like when a guy is like in a serious relationship and like going to get married, like even without the Stassi Kristen fallout, like there are some levels that change. Like there's just a respect there that like, I'm not going to pick you up and twirl you around. It's like when I see you in front of my girlfriend, fiance, wife, like that just is weird.
I agree. I would be very weirded out if one of my good guy friends in front of his girlfriend did that to me.
Yeah, I think Kristen doesn't understand that boundary at minimum, but then really doesn't understand it with their friendship falling apart.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I'm friends with my guy friends' girlfriends, so, like, it's cool when they give me big old hugs. But if they weren't, I would understand. Oh, it's so fucking weird. So, Beau's trying to explain it, and as he's trying to explain it,
oh, God.
Katie approached. And I think Stassi came with fire highs, and I think Katie was just here to be like, we need to act professional, you guys. Let's, like, calm it down. Like Katie didn't know what she was getting into.
Well, I think the Beau and Stassi talked earlier fired her up, so as soon as she walked into that, she was guns blazing to talk to Kristen and be like, F you.
Also, Katie knows that the proposal's coming tomorrow, so I'm sure she's like, Stassi, don't fucking do this.
Yes,
you're gonna regret it.
It was this was horrible. I feel like Stassi was a little in the wrong for coming in so heated. I mean, Kristen's delusional, but like we can't change that. But Stassi started like yelling.
She like walks up and she's like, "What are you guys doing?" Not even like a "What are you doing?" like passive. It was fully just like aggressive. And Kristen's like, I'm talking to my friend. And Stassi goes, my boyfriend. And I was like, ooh, stop. Like, let's really quick. And Kristen does like the really good thing and walks away from it.
Yeah.
And then Beau is kind of like, the fuck you do that for? You know, like, we were talking about how I can't talk to her anymore. Like, I was ending it.
Yeah. Well, he was also like, you can't tell me what to do. Like, I am putting space between us, but like, she can still be my friend even though you guys aren't friends. Like, I'm putting space between us, but at some point, like, we will still interact to some degree. And I think he's allowed to do that.
I agree. And I'm a big believer that guys and girls fight differently. Yeah. And I think guys can be very confrontational, but girls aren't. And girls, because I've done this before, they kind of expect like a loyalty, at least I do, but like Stassi to the 10th degree expects this loyalty, and boys don't get that. Like, oh my God, if I had a nickel for every fucking time a guy was like, she's still my friend, I don't want to hurt her. This is, like, they don't understand that hurting them is what the girl wants.
Well, they have, like, this gray area where it's like, well, we don't have to hang out with her. Like, Beau's probably thinking, like, we don't, like, when we're a package, when we're together, we don't have to be with her, but, like, let me keep some kind of contact because, like, we have been friends. We've been friends forever. For girls, it's black and white. It's like you're either friends with her or you're with me.
Yeah. And, like I said, Stassi's super fucking loyal to no wavering. Like, do you remember when Katie became friends with Scheana solely because she wanted to, like, work things out with Tom Schwartz and then Stassi fully cut her ass out?
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
This was that. I was just like, are you going to break up with Beau now? Like, I don't get it.
Well, I think she went into a rage scenario, and I think if it wasn't a public place, like, we would have had a better conversation. But Beau knows, like, this is a work event. Like, I can't actually say what I want to say. I think normally he's very good about, like, calming down and being honest. Like, I listened to, I don't even know what podcast, but Stassi said that they will separate. Like, he won't have a conversation with her if they're heated. Like, he wants to have, like, a real conversation with her. And she goes, it drives me crazy. Like, he goes to a different room. He wants us to calm down and then actually have a civilized conversation. Whereas, like, Stassi wants to fight. She wants to say all these things and, like, but Beau won't engage with her whenever she's like this.
Which I think is honestly smart.
Yeah.
For, like, any relationship, like, walk away. Like, I know they always say don't go to bed angry, but sometimes if I go to bed angry, I wake up, like, better, you know?
I mean, I'll still be upset, but I'm not raging anymore. It's like, I still believe what I think. But yeah, like, his mom's a relationship therapist, I think. And so, like, he, like, fully practices it. So, like, they're so compatible, like, because she needs that version. Like, she needs that type of relationship.
Yeah. So then Beau's, like, super fucking upset, and he's like, why are you doing this? And Stassi basically says, like, it's me. You can go home to Kristen or you can go home to me. And Beau's just like, I don't even know how we got here. Again, he's like lost as can be.
Well, then Stassi said, like, I'm your number one, right? Am I? And then she keeps saying, am I? And he doesn't say anything because I think this is him not engaging with her. Like, I'm not going to play this game. Of course you're my number one.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean she can't be my number 57. You know, like she just keeps saying, am I? And in his interview, he's like, I've been lying to her all summer just to make her happy, but all she is, like, it's just making her miserable. Like, he's like, I'm supposed to, like, propose tomorrow, but I don't want her pissed at me. This is, like, a horrible scenario.
I love what you said about him not engaging her, because I just thought he was, like, so fucking nervous. Like, he's like, what are we doing? But you're right. It's probably that he's like, this isn't appropriate, one, at this place, and two, like, at this point in time in this argument.
Yeah. And, like, if you think about it, of course you're his number one. Like, you guys are dating. Like, I know she has some weird things with, like, Kristen, but, like, it's not like Kristen and Beau's friendship is that strong, where it's, like, Kristen's his number two. Like, you can tell, like, they're not that close anymore.
Agreed.
And some ounce of friendship.
We did get, like, a flashback to when Kristen slept with Jazz. And it was, like, the betrayal of all friendships, which, like, I completely agree with. I still commend Stassi for forgiving Kristen. So I get where this insecurity comes from, but there were so many issues between Stassi and Jax. There aren't, as far as I know or can see, many issues between Beau and Stassi, so I don't know why she's, like, too worried about it.
I think she finally has something again, like, not again, because it's not like Jax is something to lose. But this is the first relationship she's been in that she doesn't want to lose it, so I think that scares her.
Yeah, like, I don't know, but, like,
Patrick wasn't something amazing, so it's not like she was, like, if she lost it, it wouldn't be, like, the end of the world. But she's at a point where she wants to get, like, engaged. She wants to have kids with this guy. And he has, a somewhat close relationship with Kristen, and that's the one person who has, like, screwed her over in her relationship besides the guys. And I feel like it's easier to be screwed over by a guy. It happens so many times that it's just like, okay, I can move on. I'll be fine. But to be screwed over, like, by your best friend that much, it's terrifying when you actually have something, like a guy you don't want to lose. Like, what if that happens again? Like, she wouldn't ever recover.
That's true. I don't know. It just stressed me out, and I wanted to be like, Stassi, he's obviously, like, over the moon for you. Like, there's no way he'd go from you to Kristen. Like, Jax is trash. Of course he would. You guys were fighting constantly. You drank his Cristal. Like, you could drink all of Beau's Cristal, and he wouldn't even flinch.
Yeah. I wonder if getting the engagement ring will help, like, cement Stassi and Beau's relationship so she's not as nervous about it. So Beau can be friends with her, but Stassi will still, like, not allow her into their, like, relationship, I'll say. And, like, she obviously isn't invited to the wedding, so, like, couple things, like, she's not invited to, but if Beau wants to go get coffee with her, fine. You can do that on your own.
I hate seeing Stassi's insecurities take over her. Like, it rakes me really sad. And then she leaves. Like, she's fully like, I'm gone. And Beau, like, turns to Stacey, or not Stacey, to Katie, and is like, can you help? And of course, Katie now, it's like, she was here this whole fight, and she didn't say one word, but now she's I don't even know what the fuck to do, Beau. Like, she's clearly overreacting, but
you can't say anything because you don't want to get her more pissed.
Yeah, and like, what's Katie going to say? You need to calm down because he's going to propose to you tomorrow and this is how it's going to look?
See, I don't think, like, Stassi leaves the restaurant, but she doesn't actually, like, get into a car or anything. I think Beau follows her, and they have, like, their own conversation outside.
Oh, I hope so. I feel like I'm watching a teen drama where I'm like, go after her.
I think he does. Like I said, he knows inside that party is not the moment, so I think he was happy when she walked out because then, like, they can remove themselves.
Well, did you watch The Next Time?
Yes, I'm so excited.
Okay. Next time on Vanderpump Rules, we have our softball game, which, like, looks exciting, but I'm more interested in this other stuff. We have Kristen talking to Jackson Brittany about how this whole mess with Beau happened, and also she texted Carter about it.
Oh, my God. Yep.
And then Jax texted Beau that Beau needs to remember that Kristen set him and Stassi up, and he needs to thank Kristen.
Which is ridiculous. Jax,
my face. Yeah, honestly. And then we get the proposal, and he does it so dorky, and I swear to God, if Bravo cuts it off, like I think I'm gonna lose my freaking mind. I think it's gonna be the very end, and Beau's gonna get down on one knee, like they showed, and they're gonna be like, what's this? And Stassi's gonna be like, what is that? And Beau's gonna turn around, and then, like, we get a drone shot of the mausoleums.
No.
That's what I think that's gonna happen. Yes.
If they do that, that's ridiculous because we already all know she says yes. Like, there's no...
That's true, but, like, I do think that's what's going to happen.
I hope they at least, like, he gets down on one knee, she says yes, they're happy, and then maybe they cut it off there, and the party is the next episode.
Oh, I think it's going to be a horrible cutoff. But we've made it through this episode.
I mean, I guess they did put off the wedding so many episodes.
Well, Meredith, I have another question. So our previous question was, can guys and girls just be friends without hooking up? My new question is, can your boyfriend or girlfriend have a friend that you hate, or vice versa? Can you be friends with someone that your significant other hates?
I think hate's a strong word.
But Stassi hates Kristen.
I know. But also, like, I think, on top of this question, I mean, it's multi-layered because of the scenario, but does the significant other also have the right to tell, like, does Stassi have the right to tell Beau she can't, or he can't be friends with her? I don't know. I think that Beau can be, like, should be allowed to be friends with Kristen, like I said, like, in his own time. You know, like, I would say a couple things, like, I'm not friends with her, and it's not even just, like, we're not friends. It's like you said, she hates her. So it's, like, a couple things she's not invited to. I understand you guys might have somewhat of a friendship still left, but we do not. She's not invited to our wedding. She's not invited to our engagement party. Do you guys want to grab a drink here and there, maybe some coffee? You know, I would like to set some boundaries, and I don't think Stassi should, like, make an ultimatum like that. I don't think it's ever a good idea. You're only going to cause a fight.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea to dictate who your significant other sees or, like, is friends with. I agree where there needs to be some boundaries where they can't come to couple things. My only thing is, if it's if if it's my boyfriend and there's a girl I don't like who has like done this in the past, I wouldn't even want him to go like on a solo activity. Like I'd need at least
so
like 5 other people there.
But like if it's Sandoval's birthday and Kristen's invited, like he can talk to her.
Yes, 100%. Or like a nice lunchtime out in the open during the day.
Yeah. Let's say like coffee and lunch are acceptable, drinks maybe not, unless it's like a large group activity.
Yes, you can go talk to her at large group activities, but don't be surprised when I'm watching.
Yeah, and I'm not thrilled.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think if I've ever dated someone where I like hated someone they were friends with, and I'm thinking of one, but it was one of his best guy friends. So like I wasn't jealous, but I was like, I fucking hate this person, but I couldn't really dictate it because I knew they probably weren't hooking up on the side. You know?
Yeah. So did you ever say like, I don't want to hang out with them like when we're all together, like go for it on your own time, but I don't want to be around them?
Yeah, and this guy chose his friend a lot of the time, so that ultimately led to our breakup. Yeah. I was like, but again, it was like his guy friend, so I don't know. I feel like it's different, but yeah, I don't know.
I agree, but I think this one has been so long, like it seems like they've been friends for so long that's why I think.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just a quick and dry, like it's not like it's Dayna or someone who screwed her over in the past and is new to this group. It's like they've been friends for a while, and that's the reason that like Stassi met him. So I feel like you have to like give some credit and respect.
Yeah, and Beau has made it clear that Stassi is his number one. Not at the moment of this big blowout, but like in the past, he has openly told Stassi like, "You're my girlfriend," kind of thing, you know. So I think that Stassi should be more okay with it because Beau has declared where his loyalty does lie.
And he even is putting up boundaries. He is putting up boundaries with Kristen. Yeah, like at the wedding he said like Stassi's my number one, and Kristen was like, "What?" And he's like, "That's my girlfriend. Like I care about you, but she's my person. Like she's my focal point of my life. Like that's gonna be the mother of my children. Like that's." He's made it very clear to her, and then he's also said, like, I'm not going to pick you up, and I'm not going to hug you, like, hugely, you know, like, there are boundaries. Like, I am in a very committed relationship.
Yeah, so, I don't know. That's a new question for everyone.
Yeah.
Let me know your thoughts.
Can Beau, or in a similar relationship, can somebody be friends? Or can a significant other tell you can't be friends with somebody?
I'd be pissed if that happened.
I feel like guys wouldn't do it as much.
I'm like such a contradiction though. Like I'd be pissed if someone told me who I could be friends with, but I have total right to tell you.
Yeah, I think I would just say I don't want to be around them. I don't want them at any like group. I don't want them at our house. They're invited to something else, fine, but I don't want to be around them.
Yeah, true. Okay, well, that was fun. Should we do accepted and pumped? Or what the fuck do I talk about? Accepted and blocked.
You said pump so many times this evening that like it cracks me up every time you say I'm so pumped.
I'm pumped. Accepted and blocked. Oh, yeah. I don't know. There was no one this episode that I like hated.
I know. You know? This was a tricky one for sure. And to be honest, I'm going to start with blocked.
Okay, go. Oh, I'm nervous. Okay.
This is so unlike me, but I gotta, sometimes you just gotta take it. Like, if you're being a shitty person in the episode, you gotta take it. And unfortunately, I'm going to block Stassi. I think she was raging way too hard. Like, Katie handled all this, like, event lead up, everything so professionally. Like,
yeah.
I get, like, Katie's not in the same scenario, but, like you said, like, that she cheers her. Like, there was just, like, a level of crazy Stassi that just didn't need to happen. Like, I think it's obvious that all of the pent-up anger on the, the non-engagement is getting blown at Kristen, too, which I just think is so unfair.
Yeah, no, I'm not even mad that you picked Stassi because she deserved it.
Yep.
But I think I'm gonna block, and I fucking block her all the time, but I'm blocking Scheana.
Scheana, I know.
She bothers me, like, beyond belief. If this bitch was my friend and she seriously came at me like, I texted you and you ignored me, even though you should have texted me about my surgery, I probably would have laughed at her. I'd been like, are you high? What's happening?
I thought you were about to bring up her telling Dayna that, I mean, I haven't had a parent die, but my grandma died.
Oh my God, that was so fucking, the psychic too. That's a whole nother reason too, where she's like forcing her own, like,
needs and wants.
What would you call, yeah, like the way she processes grief onto Dayna, even though the grief isn't even the fucking same. Like, oh my God.
I've had
blocked
quite a few
out
friends,
of my life.
I've had quite a few friends lose parents, and it's like a
Same.
horrific moment to be one sidestep away from them. In that moment, I can't imagine. Like, I've lost, like, people in my family, like, a lot of those parents, like, I was very close to, and I always say to people, like, watching my best friends lose their parents was so horrific. Like, it's not even like Scheana said, like, I lost my grandma and that was horrific. I can't even imagine what it's like to lose your mom. You know, like, that was really hard for me. So I can't even, she didn't even, like, she just straight up compared them. It wasn't even like, I don't know what you're going through, but that was really hard on me. So I can't imagine what you were going through.
Yeah, honestly, thinking about how some of my friends have lost their parents at, like, young ages too.
Yeah.
That might be more traumatic to me than losing a grandparent.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Like, it was horrendous. So, you know
I
what,
agree.
Scheana? Fuck off.
She just
Don't
lives her
get
own
your
world.
age.
She's like, that was so difficult. Like, that's how difficult it must be. Like, to lose your parents. And it's like
Stassi,
the same thing.
Stassi was sad she lost her grandma, but she didn't walk up to Ariana and Jax and be like,
I get it
feel
now.
you guys losing a parent.
Yeah.
Like, it's different. Oh, whatever.
Yeah, like,
Scheana.
Stassi took it hard, and it was, like, a lot to process for her, and, like, she was upset, but it's never, like, she was rightfully upset. Yeah.
Yeah, you can grieve and be upset on your own, but don't compare it to someone else's grief that's probably worse.
Yeah.
Considering Dayna thought she was going to spend her birthday crying and making macaroni and cheese and hot dogs, okay? Like, that's
that was
great,
so cute.
Scheana. You're fucking fine.
Your birthday is just fine.
Are we accepting now? Ooh.
This one's
I don't
tough.
even know. I know. Like no one was bad.
Like this is tougher than blocking because, like obviously Stassi and Scheana were crazy this episode. But, like, everybody else was just kind of average.
I know, so I feel like I'm just going to pick my favorites for the same reason that I always pick them. Even though they didn't do anything that, like, amazed me at all, you know?
I know. Can I go? Mine has nothing to do with majorly the episode, but it was honestly, deep down into it, my favorite part of the episode, because, like, this is how I would be somewhere. I'm accepting Ariana.
Oh my God! Oh my God! I was thinking the same thing.
Loved drinking that wine so much and was so happy about it. And she was just, like, so great with Lala in that moment. But I just, like, loved the, like, clips of her drinking that wine. It made me so happy. I just looked up and I watched and I enjoyed it. I wish I had a glass of wine in my hand at that moment.
Oh, I know. She was so good. Honestly, I literally thought of her and Tom Sandoval.
They were both pure joy. Like, their
great.
one little blip, and they were just so happy.
But I think, she didn't even make that big an impact, but I already mentioned her, and I just really like her this episode. I'm going to give it to Katie.
Oh.
I think Katie acted so professional. She's kept a secret about the proposal.
Yeah.
And in a moment where her best friend was wrongly yelling at her future fiance, Katie was kind of doing that, like, I'm there for you, but also I'm gonna help out your fiance in this moment because you're wrong. And you know what? I haven't liked Katie for a really, really long time, and I liked her this episode, so we'll give the Tom's girlfriend / wife a little love this episode. Ariana and Katie.
I think she navigates her friendships actually really well because I personally want a friend who like tells me when I'm wrong, like maybe not outright tells me I'm wrong, but she tried to like mitigate the issues like Stassi was causing for herself. So it's like, I'm going to help Beau navigate through this so you both are better off, because obviously you're not in a clear mind to like handle this. Like I can't talk to you, so I'm going to try and help from a different perspective.
Yeah. All right. Well, good for us. We're right. And no one told us who they would accept and block this episode. So, we're right.
So
I'm
we're right.
keep saying that until someone gives me their opinion.
Yeah. Tell us who you'd accept and block. Let us know if Stassi has the right to tell Beau he can't hang out with Kristen.
Yeah,
Let's also
that's
take
crazy.
it out of that scenario because
what would you
Kristen's
do?
a little crazy.
Yeah, what would
Kristen
you do in
wasn't
that
so
situation?
crazy. Yeah.
If Kristen didn't previously hook up with Stassi's boyfriend, would this be okay?
Oh man, what a time.
Well, another quarantine episode, Meredith. Done and over with.
What a great season. We're ready for the proposal.
Oh, fucking finally. I wish that we were together now so we could Facebook Live for the proposal and everyone could see our genuine reactions.
One day.
One day.
Well,
we will be reunited.
Until next time, friends. Quarantine edition continues.
Bye, guys.
Bye.